family. Today I'm going to cover a big topic that needs to get in depth. It's going to be a longer video than normal just because, I don't know, it's just going to be a longer video than normal. Anyway, and that is the difference between a bait casting and a spinning rod, and what type of lures, what type of line, powers, all that good stuff. So we're going to start out with the good old spinning rod. Probably the most popular rod out there. Just kind of middle of the row. Nothing too fancy, but really good for just all types of fishing. But typically pretty short, or typically medium size, not super long. Anywhere between 6 foot or 5'6" and 7 foot is what I would typically go for. This right here. This is a Shakespeare Incursion. This is a medium action spinning rod, which the way you can tell the action, and well, this is just how to guess it really, but medium action is gonna. It's not a medium moderate, obviously. So a medium moderate would bend a lot, but this medium action, it bends a considerable amount, but not so much to where you can't even set the hook on anything. So crankbaits, anything that like you want to have give when the fish eats your lure. So let's say I was fishing by some cover or some grass or whatever type of vegetation the fish are in. This color crankbait is going to be really good. But what you're just trying to do is you're just trying to get those bass interested. This is what people would refer to as a reaction bait. This is a bait that, it's not like a rubber worm. It's not like just sits there and the bass is just sitting there like, do I want to eat that? I don't know. No, this is typically a bait that when they see it, they're like, I'm going to eat that. They take you right in. And with reaction strikes comes aggressive bites. So if you're like somebody who wants to just fish fast, you're a power fisherman like KVD himself, and you can't just sit there and you can't just slow work a worm like this, you're saying, then this is definitely the lure for you. I love crankbaits personally. They are really fun to use. This right here obviously is this right here is a, like I said, medium action. Now, this is very important. This spec I'm about to talk about, the line weight is 6 to 12 pounds. So that is extremely important when you're trying to figure out what lure to throw. I just wanted to say, whenever I was talking about it being extremely important, the line speculations, basically, I never actually got back to that. Just talked about jigs and stuff, but basically, you don't want to go below the minimum or above the top. That's it. It's really simple when you just break it down. So medium action is typically going to be a much more bendy action, and it's gonna give towards those fish pretty well. And a spinning rod is just an overall good wacky worm, crankbait, spinnerbait, like lighter spinnerbait. It's really, Ned rigs, drop shots, it's really good for most things, but it can't just throw any lure. Excuse me. You really gotta be careful. So, onto the reel. This, like I said, this is the Shakespeare Incursion. I'll try to have some of this gear linked below. And this reel is the Lewis Lacher HS Speed Spin. And I want you to pay attention to this, because this is an important subject right here. The gear ratio is a 5-1-1 gear ratio. You're probably like, Jack, what does that mean? That doesn't make any sense. Basically, when you're looking at that, you just want to pay attention to the first number. That's going to tell you most of what you need to know. And the lower the first number, the slower the gear ratio is. So I think it goes up to from like 3 all the way to like 10 gear ratios, which 10 is insanely fast reeling. But when you're fishing a crankbait, you're typically going to want a 5-1-1 to 5-5-1 or 5. You want a slow gear ratio. You don't want it to reel in too fast, because when it's reeling in too fast, then you're just going to have trouble, and you're not going to be able to get the fish as effectively as you'd want to. On here I have monofilm, a little 12-pound mono. This is not the most effective line for crankbaits. Fluorocarbon would be a lot better. I don't know how to explain the line type or the fluorocarbon. I'll link a video below on that. But basically, crankbaits are a reaction bait and just a fun moving bait, and you can't help but get the excitement of hooking up to a nice bass with a crankbait. So I think I've covered the spinning rod in an okay way.
Guys, I know that you're probably really confused at certain parts of this video. Basically, spinning rod is just meant for lighter lures and more finessey lures.
Spinning rod, I said, do not get that. Ow! Oh, mosquito. Anyway, medium heavy spinning rods are not very common in the bass fishing world because...
Alright, this part gets really confusing, but basically what I'm saying is that there's a lot of different reasons that medium heavy rods are not really meant, or medium heavy spinning rods are not really meant for bass fishing. And I'll link a video in the description, and that video will tell you more about it. But just in case you were confused.
A medium heavy rod is not going to work as well because kind of some medical issues. I will or medical things. I'll link a bunch of videos below on all this stuff, but basically, Brex Outdoors, I know he's the one who asked me all these questions. Basically, should you buy a spinning rod? Or if you already have one, that's great. You probably already know a lot about it. But I think I've covered enough of the spinning rod stuff, and I think it's time to move to the bait casting. I'll link videos below for anything that I may have missed. But this is going to be a tough topic, bait casting. So when you think about bait casting, you typically want to think of a farther casting, more accurate rod. So, and can handle a lot heavier actions. So let's say I have, this is the Lewis Laser Lewis Laser SG1 Speed Stick. This is a 7-foot medium heavy action. By the way, that's a 6-foot rod. But this is a 7-foot medium heavy action, and it can handle from 12 to 25 pound line. So I have basically the bare minimum that you really want to throw. If you get any lighter, it's just going to be harder to cast. But you're going to go a little bit above or below. But the max I should be throwing on this thing is 25 pound line. What does that tell me? It tells me that this is obviously not a jig rod, because when you think of a jig fishing, you got to think of heavy cover, or big bass, heavy cover, and that requires a heavy to extra heavy action. The jigs are typically very heavy, so you might have a harder time feeling the bite. And if I wanted to flip jigs into really heavy cover, I'd want between 50 and 65 pound line, or braid, sorry, because that's just going to be a strong line, and it's going to hold up on that fish a lot better than a little cheap rod, and cheap like mono or something. But as for now, I just have 12 pound mono, basically the bare minimum. 25 pound is probably the max you're wanting to throw. Obviously, it says it right here. Now, Brex Outdoors, I know you were talking to me about a rod you were looking at. It was the Shakespeare low profile, or Shakespeare Alpha low profile baitcaster on rail combo. I owned that for probably a good year or so before I upgraded, but that's a great combo. It does not feature the long handle or the long grips that I like, because I like to have a good 30 hook set, and just overall, like, just the stuff that comes with a longer grip. But that rod is I know it's a 6-foot, which 6-foot are not very common in bait casting. You're typically going to want a little bit longer than that, just because it's not going to be quite as accurate. It's not going to cast quite as far. But get that if you want. Go ahead, do it. It's a great combo. It's only $30. I did pull my PB out of a big lake on it with a little rubber worm, and that video. Well, no, it's not a video. It's the bass. I actually have it on one of my videos, and which it's not the actual catching of it, but it's instead of photo series. But it's also on the front page of my YouTube channel, or my profile picture. I'm holding my PB bass. It was a good, probably 3 or 4 pound bass. We didn't have a scale with us because, I don't know, we just weren't thinking, I guess. Anyway, when you think of bait casting, I'm just basically going to cover, for now at least, spinner baits, shatter baits, you know, Texas rigs, just the typical stuff you want with a bait casting. Trying to cover as much of this as I can, but there will be a 2-part series to this. I'll make another video because I just cannot make a short enough video on this, but this is just part 1 of the video, and this part is just going to be about the difference between a bait casting and a spinning. The next video will be about what type of lures to throw on it, and line weights, and just types of line, because I can't cover that all in one video. But basically, a bait casting is typically a much heavier action, and or at least that's what I'd buy it for. Heavier action rods, sturdier rods that can typically hold a lot more line than a spinning rod can. Faster gear ratios. The gear ratio, the line, and the lure stuff will be on part 2. That will come out probably within the next 3 days or so, most likely. Maybe a little bit more than that, but again, this is a 7-foot, which it is a really long rod. It's a nice long rod, but it gets the job done. I'm just trying to differentiate the spinning and bait casting rod in this video, but oh, and I forgot to say, this is the Lew's Xfinity Speed Spool I have on my my rod. I love this reel. It's amazing. It's super smooth, and it gets the job done. This combo together, if you bought both separately, it'd be about $150. Kind of an expensive combo, but you know what? It's very much worth it because you get good bass. That's pretty much going to end the video for today. If you have any questions, just comment them down below. I'll try to make a video on them. There will be another part series on this, but it'll be in a little playlist also, hopefully, if I can remember. Anyway, just, you know, it's very important to know the difference when you're trying to buy it. Brex Outdoors, I would very much go ahead and purchase that rod. I know it's going to be good for your first bait casting. It's perfect for beginners to learn how to use it. The smaller fingers you have, the better it's going to fit in that smaller. It's got kind of a narrower spool. The better your fingers actually going to fit in there and stop the backlash easier. But I will have to say this. It does not cast that far. It casts far enough to be a good rod, but it doesn't cast that far. Like, don't expect it to cast like 50 yards. It's not going to do that. It'll maybe cast 40. Maybe more than that, but yeah. So there'll definitely be a 2-part series. I really hope you enjoyed this video because I really enjoy making videos for you guys. And yeah, so if you're not subscribed, please go ahead and click that big red button. We are trying to get to 200 subscribers, if you did not know. I was at like 89 at one point, I think. Yeah, I was at 89, then my subscribers just started dropping rapidly. Not really sure why. Just go subscribe to Brex Outdoors if you haven't yet, because he's awesome. Get him to like 40 subscribers by the end of this month. Is that too much to ask? It's literally just 3 or 4 subscribers. Or even 2, I don't know what he's at right now, but he's already at 40. I don't know, pretty good possibility. But again, I will make another part series on this. I'll explain the actions of the rod a little bit better, but basically this is just, should you get it, yes or no? Absolutely you want to have a spinning and a casting rod, both in your boat or in your house, ready for when you go on fishing trips, because they're meant for different. They're only different fishing poles because they're meant for different They're only different types of rods because they're meant for different applications, and very important. But I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope this was as informative as you needed it to be. Basically, your question, should you get it? Yes. And then I'll just answer the question online for now. Just go with monofilament. It comes with monofilament if you order it, Brex Outdoors. And just stick with that mono for a while. It comes with 12-pound mono. pretty good. Yeah. It might be 4 carbon. I have no idea. I ain't that smart. But 4 carbon's expensive though. So yeah. I really hope this answers your questions, because this is not an easy video to make, because I don't really know about it much myself. Or I know it, but I don't know how to explain it. But yes, definitely get it. Go ahead and order it. I will make more videos. Well, I'll make more videos on how to use bait casting and all the extra stuff. But guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Just comment down below if you have any more questions, and I will do my best to answer them. Give me some elbow.